Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today. My name is Sohela, and I'm part of the marketing team at WeddingWire India, part of the Not Worldwide. Today, we are decoding fashion industry, how we have all come out of this pandemic and how we are preparing ourselves for it. So since the global pandemic, COVID-19 hit us early in March this year, weddings, like many other segments, had a huge impact in India. And with the government going easy on restrictions, we have started seeing a lot of intimate weddings as a growing trend now. Ceremonies at home and in some cities, even venues, extending wedding celebrations over Zoom. We're all, seeing it all. And today in this webinar, we'll be discussing and getting insights on how is the fashion industry adapting to the changes and what kind of transformation are we expecting in this sector going forward. I welcome you all once again. And to begin the conversation, I would want to ask Anam, who's the marketing head for WeddingWire India, to share some points on, considering social distancing has become a new norm, what kind of changes are we seeing as a, organization happening in the wedding industry and in wedding fashion?
Thank you so much, Sohela. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time today to join us. It's just great to see everyone. Some people that I've met personally. Hi, Sanjana. Good to see you again. And seeing everyone else here. It's just great. So like Monica just said right now, that it's interesting to see how weddings have still continued. Weddings are such an integral part of the Indian culture that no matter what, it's not going to go away. So because of COVID, definitely there are a lot of restrictions that came and people did not have a choice but to kind of stay within the lockdown. But the way that all of us adapted as individuals, people had Zoom weddings, which no one would have ever imagined to be having any celebration on Zoom. It's just interesting. I think online digitization is the answer to everything which we are seeing going forward. And as an organization also, this is what we are increasingly seeing in the entire space. The Not Worldwide has some of the biggest brands in the WedTech space, the Not, WeddingWire, the Hitched in London, our sister company, Bodas in Spain. So all these brands, we have been seeing that people are still having weddings, they are going ahead, but online is becoming integral. From online sessions with the designers to decide what they are going to be wearing, to the initial discussions with planners, to even doing 3D tours with selected venues that they might want to have their weddings at. We are literally seeing everything. So I think even for wedding fashion, digital is going to be playing a huge role. People are going to be doing digital walkthroughs. Reviews are going to be playing an extremely important role, because you would want to work with a certain set of service partners who might have already dealt with a lockdown wedding, who are already aware of how to handle the permissions which are required, certain restrictions that are in mind. And this is what we are going to be seeing going ahead. In fact, in one of the surveys that we had recently conducted with couples who are going to be having their their weddings during this lockdown period, almost 70% of the couples said that they are going to only be rescheduling to later this year. And a very, very small percentage said that they would move it to 2021. And only 3% of the couples said that they are going to cancel. So no matter what, like our campaign that we had some time back, that love is not cancelled, weddings are not cancelled, they are only getting rescheduled. And people will have smaller celebrations now, but it is all going to come back for sure. So yeah.
Great. And taking a cue from there are how lockdown weddings, intimate weddings that we are terming all of the weddings happening right now as. What are the tips and tricks for brides and grooms that who are unable to source outfits at the moment and but still want to look the part and make sure that this all the photos actually come out well. Sanjana, why don't you share some of these tips and tricks with us?
I mean, I think that's what, I think now people are kind of prioritizing what's important to them. I think before this, a lot of time was spent, kind of planning this perfect wedding of sorts and then kind of maybe just ignoring what you truly wanted. A lot of times it was just larger than life, and before you knew it, it was over and you've not processed or really enjoyed yourself. I mean, we have Isha here who just had her like she's done this, a COVID wedding, so to speak. So I think she'll be the best person to kind of elaborate on this. But I think she must have truly been surrounded by the people who are really important and made the best of the situation. And I think that's what it boils down to, because the wedding is one thing, but the marriage is the main thing that you should be thinking about and working on eventually, right? So I think in a weird way, people are just streamlining their lives in every aspect anyway and prioritizing what's truly very important to them.
And, again, getting input from there, Isha, how was it? And how did you manage and decide on the date? And how did you source everything? What was going on in your mind? You would want to know all.
Okay. So, we planned a wedding around the 19th of May. That was our date. And but then it was a strict lockdown. There was absolutely no way that we wanted a whole house wedding, because that's a memory that we wanted to cherish for the rest of our lives. So we said, let's just wait for a slight relaxation, which happened around the 1st of July. So we said the immediate next date was 12th of July. Let's, auspicious day. Let's just get married. Pretty much everything happened online. My entire trousseau, my wedding shopping, everything was online. Right from customized outfits that we were doing it online with designers. The only time I stepped out to try an outfit was for Siddharth, an outfit that Tarun had sent us Sherwani from Delhi. And the final trial is the only thing that we stepped out for. Otherwise, literally everything, right from the gifts that we had to give each other's families, everything was online. Jewelry, I remember, was one thing that I couldn't manage online because, the size and all of that, we had to go to the store and try it on. But apart from this, I think it's totally manageable to do things online. Keep a little buffer in case you need certain alterations or you need certain returns to happen. Just keep a little time buffer in hand for that. But I think a lockdown wedding was the best decision Siddharth and me have made. We were a little apprehensive about it at the start, that, this is going to be it. And, we are kind of downsizing it to this extent and stuff. But trust me, this experience, after this, I'd say that, anyone who's planning to get married, even within the next 1 year, just go for it. Don't even think of postponing, because, intimate weddings are so much fun. Everyone who is really important to you is there, and you don't have to feel guilty about not inviting certain people. It's just understood, So your most special ones are there. Everyone's taking care of themselves. You don't have to worry about are they being taken care of. You don't have to be formal. Everyone's by themselves. I think more than anything else, what we really enjoyed was that everyone was having a blast. I mean, they were out after 4 or 5 months. They knew they have to be careful, but at the same time, there was not one element that a regular wedding could not have that we, missed. In terms of safety, of course, we had to take a lot of, like you guys just mentioned, that a lot of permissions had to be taken from PMC and, ward offices and local police stations and Arogya Setu apps and all of that. But apart from that, even within the hotel, I think we managed to maintain a lot of safety rules just to make sure that everyone's comfortable. The seating arrangement was like 3 feet away. Every chair was placed at 3 feet distance. Even like the dining, the round tables and banquets, which normally seat about 8 to 10 people, had just 4 chairs. Like the 5th person could not even stand there. We were very sure that we wanted no human contact with servers and guests. So everything was planned like that. That there were installations of appetizers and mocktail and mocktail counters, so guests would go and take it. There's no server who's touching that thing. And even with otherwise, even with your main course and stuff, everything was sealed and packed. Your glasses, your cutlery, everything was sanitized, sealed and packed. So only the guest uses it or touches it. There's no one else who's. So we tried to do everything possible, keeping every aspect of safety in mind, and we thoroughly enjoyed our wedding.
Great, great. So, when you say that online, it's become easy and, you're able to shop and all the outfits are absolutely, it is manageable to do so. I would want to, ask Anjul, what measures are being taken by designers to provide, the customers the latest trends while they're sitting at home?
You know what the whole thing is about, as Isha just said, that it's your special day. So as a bride, you need to be really careful as to what you want to provide the bride. So online is a great platform. I quite agree with her, because with these virtual tours and even, showing them the outfits and getting them the right colors, checking out, because they are sitting home, checking out their jewelry and telling them exactly what will go with what. And, giving them the exact idea after seeing them and seeing how they look and how they're going to be dressed. Everything absolutely works perfectly. But the only hitch, as Isha said, is when you need to step out is for your alterations or for your final fitment or that. That is the only thing which actually puts you in a little bit of a thing, which is obviously again manageable. It's not that you can't manage certain things with these lockdowns and even for that, keeping social distancing in mind. Here at our place also, we are taking a lot of care when it comes to sanitization. And if we have an appointment, we make sure that we've sanitized the whole office, we've sanitized the whole area, the outfits which they need to try need to be sanitized properly. All those things have been taken care of. And yes, the brides have been coming in. The brides who have delayed their weddings, obviously there have been no cancellations, but people have delayed and pushed a little, considering that let's get over with the lockdown. Let's have at least those 50 people who matter there. So at the end of the day, when it comes to the main celebration, it's only those 50 to 100 people who really matter. The rest is the big fat Indian wedding, which we just want to have for everybody, it's for just fun. So those 100 people and those 50 people will always be there as part of your life, as part of your wedding, as part of your special day. So we take care of, for the bride to be looking the best. And considering it was summer, the subtle colors, chicken curry, the softness, because there are not too many people, the bride doesn't want to be OTT. So all those things obviously played, and it did work out. I wouldn't say that it didn't, it did work out well. So far it's been quite nice, and the brides have been happy. And the best part has been that the brides have been making a very conscious effort of what they are buying. So there's been a lot of mindful buying. There has not been a buying like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want that, and I have 6 functions, so I want everything to be one. It doesn't happen. So the bride has become very conscious. She's become very mindful on what she wants to buy. She wants to put in her money at a place where she knows there's going to be reusability of the product and there's sustainability. And of course, it's an investment where our weaves, our craft, our embroideries come into play. And for a long time, because of, the social media and because of, the way the things have been happening, and thanking all the stylists and everybody, there has been a lot of education on what a bride needs to do. So when a bride comes to us, she's quite educated and she knows her mind. She clearly knows where she's putting her money, which is a great thing to work with. Don't have to work very hard with her, actually, if you ask me.
Nice, absolutely. So, how you mentioned like design sensibilities for customers have definitely changed, and of course, summer being, the weather right now in terms of colors, embroidery, silhouettes that are actually working, and with pictures, videos, live, lesser people, all of these getting, extremely important right now. Aisha, what do you feel, how is this all changing, and what is it that's going to work currently?
For me, it hasn't changed a lot. Brides still like their lehengas. No matter what we've tried, they still come back asking for a lehenga. They're like, we want bright colors. I know it's just 50 people, but Instagram still matters. So there's obviously, there's no costs with decor and F&B. People are not spending on the grandeur of decor. They're just doing something small at home, but clothes still somehow matter, because it's that one Instagram post that really matters to all brides. So I think we haven't had to change a lot. And honestly, I think price point makes quite a difference today, because brides are conscious, like Anjul said, they're conscious in every way. They're conscious about how transparent the brand is, how whether there's sustainability involved, even in terms of wedding outfits. I know that people want to invest in brands that they connect with. They connect with the founder. They want the founder to be relatable. That's something that I have had to change. I wouldn't have done this earlier, but I've, trying to put myself out there because, I've always made the page very business-like and never really put opinions or I've just never done any videos, but I am changing that. I am getting myself out, showing the customers what mindset is behind the brand. So for me, it's not been a lot of change. We have stuck to the same price points, the same colors, and it's doing fine.
Great. How about Priyanka? There's definitely a shift towards sustainable fashion. And do you see that becoming a part of Indian weddings in future?
So, hi, thanks for having us over. Thank you, WeddingWire. So definitely we are seeing that the customers, the brides, the groom, all are getting aware. There is a general aware on sustainability. Sustainability in the standard definition where you would say, yes, how we are taking care of the ecological situation, we are taking care of social justice, all that is being taken care of. But, and we are seeing people, clients moving towards that. But along with that, I think sustainability, well, at Devanagari, we also give it a new meaning where we say that the groom, the bride, they should be able to rewear their outfit. So that is also another way we're looking at it, that it should not be a one-time wear. It should be something that the bride can reinvent, rewear. She should be able to restyle her outfit. And again, all the craftsmanship, all the minor detailing that goes into making the garment, I think this really does help them to rewear the outfits. So sustainability can be looked on a more broader vision where we would not want the garment not to see the light once worn on the wedding, in spite of all the Instagram posts. But yes, stylists like Sanjana Batra can help them to restyle, rewear their outfits once again. And I think that would also be a part of the sustainability movement.
Absolutely. And, so much has been spoken about being, ready for that one Instagram post. I would want to ask Gopalika, what are some ways to make sure that your wedding is Instagram ready?
So I don't know, but I think Sanjana knows and Aisha knows. I've had quite a journey with my wedding. My wedding has been a prep party. So I literally called up Sanjana, like I think 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and I was like, Sanjana, I want an intimate wedding and how do I do this? And I was like, I don't know, tell me more about your wedding. And we were having this conversation. And then we planned our wedding in Italy. And just 20 days before the virus, the wedding, the virus came, boom. So I was like, okay, now I'm not getting married in 8 degrees and I don't have, like, there are people who booked their tickets, there are people who've done so much. So for me, it was literally like, I don't know what's going to happen. So I don't know, like, I feel like when it comes to like getting ready for your wedding, Gaurika, that was the question, right?
Yes. Like
so
how
getting ready
can,
for one
how can
Instagram
someone get
post.
Instagram
I'm
ready?
the most like haphazard bride right now because I've gone from getting ready for the full sleeves to like half sleeves to like no sleeves. But I think something I have realized during this prep time of my age, or I don't want to kind of dress in any way which doesn't stand for who I am. So sometimes you dress in a certain way. Sometimes people love the dupatta, sometimes people don't. Sometimes people there are different ways of kind of getting it together. So for me, I think getting ready for that one day, one picture is definitely more than putting together an outfit. It's putting together what you feel for your wedding. So I love palms, it's on my lehenga. I love genda, it's on my lehenga. I love lions, it's on my lehenga. So I've literally made a whole I just feel that it's also associating yourself with that one outfit, not to make it so important, but also it holds a great place. And I think if you're happy in it, it calls for a great picture. It could be whoever you're wearing. It's just the color and the outfit and the fall of it that kind of makes it all perfect. So yeah.
Great. Sanjana, would you want? Yeah, Aisha, please go ahead.
I love what Isha did. I mean, she wore her mom's sari, right? That's something
sustainability.
Yeah.
No, I wore my mom's sari for my roka. And I was like, you know what? It was the best thing ever. One, it gives you a memory of a lifetime. Two, it gives you a lifetime. Three, you feel like, I was literally like, okay, I'm wearing my mom's sari. You know, and I changed to the actual outfit later. But for the puja, I was like, listen, I want to wear my mom's sari. This is something I really, really like. And I feel it's a fab thing.
Yeah, even I changed just for the Fera bit because I mean, I'm a South Indian and I've grown up seeing such amazing Kanjivarams all my life. And during this lockdown, and we typically, you know, when we have a wedding in the family, we go to Kanchipuram, we get like these really exclusive weaves made for the wedding sari. And I didn't have a chance to do that. So I went digging into my mom's wardrobe and I found this amazing sari with a little bit of help from raw mango. You know, I could really kind of restyle it in the most amazing way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You both look gorgeous.
Considering that, you know, the kind of society we live in, I'd like to add in here, is that we really don't need to practice much of sustainability because it goes down generations with us.
Generations.
It happens automatically. You like something, you're like, okay, I have to wear this again.
Yes. So when you're growing up as a child, as a little girl, you've always dressed up in your mother's dupattas as sarees, or probably her sarees to be worn, and I want to wear her jewelry, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. So all those special things can always be added to your main day somewhere down the line. I've had brides who had a chicken curry lehenga and picked up their mother's old wedding orna to wear it on the head and wear it for a bit, as Jess Gopalika said that she wore it for a bit and then she changed into the other outfit. So all those things for us is not something which we are making a conscious effort of. It just comes naturally to us, I guess. So it's actually worked well for all of us. So we are basically, as a community, are a very sustainable community if you come to think of it.
Correct.
Absolutely correct. So, Sanjana, would you want to add any pointer here? Because Gopalika definitely mentioned a couple of times that she was the one who, you know, checked that how to get to that Instagram ready look.
No, funnily enough, I mean, I got married in December 2018 and we did have a big fat Indian wedding but our ceremony was small and very intimate and it was at home. So at my home. So I always thought that at least when it comes to the wedding ceremony, keeping it intimate just has its own charm. And literally when you look around and you look at the people who are sitting right there, you know, every single person has, you know, been invested in your life in a very different way and truly wants to be there. They're not thinking that, oh, I have to wake up at 11 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. and make it here. They're here because they want to be here. So when she and I spoke and she was considering having a small wedding, I told her, I said, I really feel like by the end of it, having the people who are the closest to you and, you know, who truly matter to you and you know that they're truly happy for you and want to be a part of the celebration, that's another feeling altogether. And don't get me wrong, a big fat party is great. It's a lot of fun. But I do feel for anyone who wants to have their wedding ceremony, there's no reason to not have it because you can't have that many people there, you know. If there are people who are important to you who can't be there, it's a very different thing. But otherwise, there's no reason to not have your intimate ceremony and then have a big celebration later if you feel like you want that and you will enjoy it, because that too is fun. I'm not saying it isn't. And I think just this whole process of selecting your outfits and, you know, putting together your outfits, I think we were getting very excessive about everything. You know, it was all about having all these options and keeping a backup option at times and things like that. Which think of it because
like with I'd like to add to that, like with every bride that we've styled till now, I remember we had after party outfit for every event. We had detachable gowns with, you know, like fly to Dubai, get Michael Cinco to do like a cocktail gown and a detachable, you know, trail and this and that. And everything was like so OTT. And suddenly it's all gone down to being, you know, very sure of what you need. Like Anjul said, like everything is very minimal. I wouldn't say it's gone to basic or something. Everyone still wants to be absolutely stunning and they want to be perfect on their special day, but they know what they want and they don't want to unnecessarily, you know, go shopping impromptu and like splurge on something that they know that they wouldn't be able to reuse again. Like I have already figured ways of reusing all the outfits that I wore for my wedding, like already. But I think that's the trick of it, that you need to know how you could reuse a lehenga in 3 different ways, how you could use a sari that you've invested in different ways. I think that's the need of the hour, and learning this now more than ever is very important.
True, absolutely.
So,
And also talking about colors, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add here is like, I know right now we are in this times where everybody is, not in the mood of spending, and, everybody is cutting down on their budgets. But on a serious note, I think fashion industry by and large is, giving employment to millions of people across the world. I think we have to understand that. We have to understand that craft in India, artisans in India, a huge employment. Within rural India, it's the second largest employment. So keeping all that in mind, sustainability, of course, very, very important in terms of, reusability. But I think we need to encourage our craftsmen. Buying finest craft and buying your beautiful lehenga is, I think, still as important. And going out there and making yourself look absolutely stunning, is also as important, because these artisans survive on the wedding industry. I think we have to keep that in mind.
I'd like to add in with Monica here that she's absolutely hit the nail on the head, because that is the most important thing as a fashion industry, which this whole thing of being make in India and, Atmanirbhar and everything. So if at this point of time we can get support of people where they can actually put their foot in front and say that, okay, we are going to support the artisan.
Yes.
We're going to support a brand which supports artisan, is going to be a huge help.
Yes.
Because as all of us sitting here, all of us know that all through the pandemic last 4 months, it has been a one-way traffic.
Absolutely.
We've been supporting the artisan and getting nothing on the other end. So this is the time when the community needs to get up and support us and support the community behind us to go forward.
Yes, because it's a huge employment in India, and I think this is the time to take Indian craftsmanship forward, because what we have, no country in the world has, right? So if we talk about it, we wear our, say woven lehengas or our beautifully crafted pieces anywhere abroad for our weddings. Like Big Fat Indian Wedding is sold across the world. And I think that shouldn't stop. Like I know, like the last wedding I went to, we had these Italians and, some people from Saint-Tropez, and they were like, oh my God, so enamored by the wedding that we had. So it's a huge industry for India. So I hope that it continues. Yeah, sorry, Gopalika.
I'm really excited to say this, because I want to do this. So basically, I know that earlier, like, we were not, so earlier we were not 30 people together. We were, okay, my mom's going to do this at the wedding. I'm going to be here. My dad's going to be there. I'm going to be here. As a girl who's going to be a bride, I just want to tell you that those 30 people and what they are wearing has become so important. I'm like, put a color scheme. Everybody in pastel. Put a juice.
No one clashes with the bride.
So that's what I want to tell you. I want to tell you that. So I think my sister also called Jade recently, and we were like, okay, let's get on a video call or whatever. And we were trying to figure this out. But I want to say that people are so particular now about.
Absolutely.
It's not that the bride doesn't want to get ready. So I understand, the weddings that happened immediately in the first month of the pandemic.
In the hard lockdown.
The house. We don't know the security measures. We don't know that there's a UV machine. We don't know there's a sanitizing machine you can cross. And that's probably why we also canceled the wedding or postponed the wedding to later, because we were like, but we don't know how to crack this. Now that people know that those 30 people can get tested before, there's a truck, there's a bus that goes, they have the doctors, they check you. Now that we know that the florists can come in a day prior, there has to be a whole
setup.
Those 30 people have become so important that I'm like, I don't know, maybe my father-in-law and my dad should dress in the same way, in the same kind of But it is true.
What fun.
No, but people are like, let's do this. Let's make those 30 people who are so special to us.
Yeah.
Just feel like it's a wedding. It doesn't have to have.
Absolutely. And feel so good about it, right? Dressing up.
And there are other people. So it's not about, and it's not about wearing a particular designer. It's about
Hmm.
getting that mood and that palette, because you only have those 30 people to spend that
With
day.
you.
So that one
I
table
totally agree.
that we're going to have on the wedding day, where we're going to eat, it's going to mean the world to us, because these
Yeah.
are, and I honestly feel that, you know, from the start I wanted an intimate wedding. I'm like, okay, this
Hmm.
is a dream come true.
It's,
This is what
it's a blessing in disguise.
so we have to make sure that, you know, the people are, that the family is dressed and are happy to be there. So I mean, that
Hmm.
is something that I think
So
is going to
perfect.
go away. So
Yeah.
the craftsmen, and I hope that it happens this way, are always flooded with work. I know there's a you know, a patch right now, but in the wedding industry, people have become so much, I mean, a bride has become so much more particular about,
Hmm.
you know, those few
Yeah.
people and how they're dressing.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
Absolutely.
good.
Everybody is like
I,
very well.
I,
Yeah.
I have one little thing to add here. Just because you brought up florists, I'll tell you this was one of the most challenging elements during my wedding, because I had planned a beach wedding in May, and I had like a whole nature inspired theme, which I wanted to stick to. Even now with monsoons here, we couldn't do an outdoor wedding, so we also face a big challenge with florists. Okay, a lot of flowers could not be sourced around this time. A lot of florists, especially because a lot comes from Calcutta, which right now is in a bit of a trouble. So we had to play up with mixing artificial and fresh flowers. So just try and, you know, like keep that in mind, because you're getting married and you said, you know, florists can come in a day before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and small things like you know, we had to include like the PP suit cost for all the labors, you know, the decorating team coming in, and like a machine sanitization after they leave the venue and stuff. So you know, with decor, the challenge is always going to be fresh flowers till monsoons get over, until Calcutta Northeast settles in. So you need to kind of work around that with your
That's
team.
something. Yeah, so that's something that we actually did. I did a set right now for a shoot where I had to do a flower bed. Now, generally, when we do a flower bed, I always mix the real and the old. Now, I was calling my, like, the florist and saying, "Jo sabse real lagta hai, send me a picture." Jo sabse real.
That's what I did. My backdrop was a flower bed.
You
Yeah,
have
we mixed
to,
that.
because, you know, I'm saying a day before, but I know my dad, he's going to be like, nobody's entering this little hole at least 10 days before the wedding or 5 days before the wedding. You can't afford to have real flowers. And definitely, I agree with you that the decor part is a very tricky situation, and we still have to crack it, but it has to, you know, step by step, and we just.
Because, you know, we had like really strict sanitization of every element of decor that was coming in, being sanitized into the venue. So yeah, so just be a little aware about this bit of decor.
And there's one more point, I think, that maybe what changes right now currently would maybe the length and the width of the Indian weddings. But I don't think that the indulgence, the sensitivity towards that would go away. So that I don't see happening anyway, because it is the special day. It's still going to remain special. That's not going to change for sure. Yeah, the number, and that's what's going to change as of for now, definitely for now. So I think the brides will come back. They are going to look for pretty stuff. They are going to want to be looking their best. And I think value for craftsmanship is definitely going to become even more now. So people are going to go out, and whether it's the bride or the groom or the family, the immediate family that matters, but they will definitely be indulging. So indulgence will not go away from the Indian wedding. Yes, the size definitely for some time it looks it would go away.
So,
But like
you know, keeping all of this in mind,
it's like a resetting of your priorities, you know, because now you're focusing more on yourself and your immediate family and friends, as opposed to thinking about so many other people who technically shouldn't have. I mean, it's great that they were there, but they don't really figure in your day-to-day lives in the way that the rest of these people do. So every single thing, you're just spending more time paying attention to details that you possibly couldn't have done when you were planning a large-scale wedding, you know. So in a way, it's a blessing in a strange way, I guess, you know, that you're just getting a chance to reevaluate what is truly important to you. Everything from what you wear to what you invest in to, you know, the kind of people you choose to surround yourself with, everything.
I agree, but I think we are right now in this industry in a dilemma where we are trying to match out on this resetting of minds, where we say more mindful. And then on the other side, how Monica said, we are trying to look at how to sustain this industry, which is supportive of a very, very large number. So I think somewhere we'll have to work out this great balance, and I hope we all can do that.
True. And, when we talk about industry and, how we need to make sure that the craftsmanship is definitely rewarded and we're keeping all that in mind, do we see any changes in price points in future? Monica, would you want to add there, or Priyanka, you go ahead, or Aisha?
I actually wanted to agree completely with what Monica said. It's something that it's not just as a designer, but even as brides, they're extremely aware of the fact that by buying an Indian wedding outfit, you are investing in artisanal technique and craft and families that it's a multi-generational skill. It's a skill that's passed on from father to son, niece, uncle. Everyone's in the craft. Everyone's in the same trade. So for them, the fear of a virus, a potential virus, is not as high as unemployment and tomorrow's lunch and dinner. So, and people are aware of the fact that, there's certain man hours that go into making a wedding outfit. And it's not like a luxury item that probably a brand from France or from wherever they're manufacturing in China, and they're selling it at such a huge cost. So that the awareness is there. And they know that they want to, and there's so much talk about vocal for local and buying Indian products. There is no better, way to invest in it, but do it. I mean, on your wedding day, it's a special day. You're investing in a piece that gives livelihood to a lot of people. And for designers, like Anjul said, to be sustaining your workforce for 3 months without not much coming in return has been a huge task. It's something that you must acknowledge that what everyone on top of the pyramid is doing. I mean, the biggest brands, I'm sure Monica's doing it with how many people she's trying to sustain with her craft, and so is Sabyasachi, and so many other people who are paying irrespective of business. I know some people are not even manufacturing. I mean, in Bombay, I'm sure Monica's not still started her workshop, so is Arpita. So there's a lot of people who, have orders that, and brides are trying their best to cooperate. They are waiting on production to start. But they do understand that it's not something that can be manufactured in China. It's something that you have to make for days together, and you have to mobilize. Not only there's a lot of different kinds of people that come together to make that outfit for you. Whether it's a printer, whether it's a screen printer, there's so many layers to everything as well. So that is something that I think there's a lot of awareness now, like I said, which is why people are wanting to relate to the founder. What is the mindset behind this product? What is the founder thinking about, the current situation? How are they incorporating it into their work, into their price points, into making something valuable, yet, and ostentatious, yes, but there is a story behind it. There is livelihoods behind it. So I think they're willing to invest in it, which is why, like I said, weddings and wedding related things, I'm not speaking for decor, but jewelry and clothes are still, do still have that momentum. It's not like it's dead right now.
Yeah, and it's never going to be dead, because with Indian weddings, your entire craftsmanship and jewelry is going to be the most important thing, always, whether it's an intimate wedding or whether it's a 5,000 people.
I quite agree with what Aisha was just saying, that, a bride, when she's getting ready, or for that matter, even the family of the bride who are trying to choose what they want to wear and how, those immediate 30 people, actually now you're not dressing up for others, you're dressing up for yourself. That is the most important part. So I personally think, considering that we are supporting the artisans and we are a very craft-based industry, I mean, completely, the whole industry when it comes to fashion and the couture industry is completely craft-based. So please, I would request and urge that look into it and please come out and support the craft, because you don't, as Aisha said, want the generations of artisans to start, driving an e-rickshaw because they're not making money out of the craft they're doing, which is going to be absolutely lethal.
It's not one.
So I have something to add here, Anjul. Here, we did a small survey because we we have an export background. I don't know if you know, so we have some 15 generation, 16 generation artisans working with us. So most of the times when we did a survey, we realized that it is not the money they are earning very well, it's the pride. It's the pride of their kids now learning computer. It's the pride about their kids becoming an engineer. So what we need to give back to them is their pride, making them feel that, oh, okay, what you're doing is as good. Like all the artisans in Japan are their national treasure.
Yeah.
They are called the national treasure. So that kind of a title, when we start giving our Indian artisans, is when they are going to feel the pride. You know, what we need to bring them back to is like becoming a doctor is very important, but being an artisan is as important. I think that factor we all need to bring awareness in.
I so agree with Monica. I mean, it's so beautiful that they are national treasures. I 100% agree with
very
her.
Well said.
Very beautifully said. And also
Thank
the
you.
most important part is that we have to remember as designers, we are just the felicitators to these people and the brides in the middle.
And it's
art is only with these guys.
Yeah.
So we really need to go ahead and give them their due and give them the pride which they require.
Yeah, but as a designer, I think our responsibility would be to make craft relevant to today. Right? You want to wear something traditional, sometimes it just adds so much age. You know, it's something that you can't wear it today. Like if khadi was cool, I think everybody, all of us would wear it, right? So we need to make craft very cool. Like we have to make things which are more relevant to today, stuff that the young girls, the brides want to wear it. Take that craft, make it more relevant, and then you know, that's the responsibility as a designer, as stylists, we must do.
That's what I said. Right. The felicitators, we need to, we are just bridging the gap in the middle. We know what the customer wants, what the bride wants, what the youngster wants, and ask the artisan to do it. But as as Monica rightly said, it has to be done with pride. They have to feel pride in what they are doing. That's very, very
60 million people. It's not 1 million. It's not 2 million. It's 60 million people. And not just, you know, in artisanal, it's about loom. The loom industry has so many people. It's our mom's saris, our grandmom's saris. You know, every state has its own loom. Every state has its own way of crafting a product. And I feel like, you know, denim was made so cool. Like how Monica said, you have to make it cool. Denim was used by in Germany to make it so cool, and India produces a lot of the denim for the West. So, I mean, we have so much talent here with so much technique. It's just that it's considered vanity. It's considered vain that, oh, you know, you have to spend so much for clothes. It's not about just a piece of clothing. It's you are buying and investing in craft, and you are saving livelihoods. I think that message is not clear enough to people because they just come looking at it as a vain product. Oh, but for a lehenga, you have to spend so much. But they don't realize like how Dior puts its man hours. You know, 16,000 man hours have gone into this piece. That's when people wake up to, oh my God, the magnitude of what they've done. We have to do that. I think fundamentally, I've started rethinking strategy in terms of putting workmanship on Instagram instead of just great imagery. I think I've not been doing that. I've not been showing how painstaking applique is. People are like, acha, okay, patchwork hai, kapde pe kapda dal diya. So, you know, when they say this, they don't really understand how much time goes into, you know, a man sitting there hours together, just having one lunch break or, you know, 2 tea breaks, to be investing so much time for a craft that needs to be saved. It's something that you have to, it's a pride thing.
I think to add on to what Aisha is saying, in my previous role, I was working with Mrs. Ritu Kumar. I was heading marketing for them, and it has been so, I think, mind-opening to see the amount of effort that the karigars actually put. Every kali on the lehenga and your dupattas, the amount of effort that is taken. I think I spent a lot of time in our Calcutta office while the karigars there do the entire embroidery. Anisha, you are so absolutely right that it is high time that we go out there and tell people about the effort that it takes to make that one piece. It's just not a beautiful picture, but it is the painstakingly long man hours that go into making a beautiful piece look as it is. And I think it's not just on the designer's front, But even the retail brands as of now, to probably the question that Sohela was asking on how we are going to be seeing like a pricing difference that we might be seeing across brands. I also worked with Aditya Birla Group, which actually has all the formal menswear brands in India, from Van Heusen, Louis Philippe, Allen Solly, Peter England, you name it, and it comes under ABG, under the ABRL fashion. It is crazy the amount that the companies are really investing right now to take care of their employees. It is definitely something which is worth looking at. They are definitely taking a lot of efforts to kind of ensure that all the employees are well taken care of. Probably the effect on pricing is something that we might see in the coming months, because there was a lot of produce which went bad in the stores. We have seen a lot of footage probably from malls where luxury items actually went bad. There was fungus growing on leather bags because they were just closed for like 2 months. It's really bad. And I'm sure even in the stores also, I've also seen it in my previous role, that if one article is kept in a store for a very long period of time, there is that damage that happens because of air, because of moisture. So probably it'll be great to Anjul, you and Monica, because you guys see all these products, to understand what kind of changes you might be seeing in the future on pricing. Would love to really hear that.
Yeah, so what I would like to add is 2 points here. One is pricing. I know right now the sentiments are low, but I don't really see pricing going down, because as we all discussed, the amount of man hours that go into creating an outfit is the base cost, right? There's nothing, and the curated experiences that the luxury brands provide is what really matters. And I think people are going to go back to buying brands that have a soul, right? So if you want to relate to any brand, COVID, no COVID, I don't think it matters for any brand. These 3 months come and go.
I
right?
100% agree with what Monica is saying.
It's just
pricing is something which one should not be looking at, because at this point of time it's about investing in putting
in your
money
lehenga, exactly,
in the right place is what is important.
It's not cost, because it's a labor intensive process, right? The man hours are what is the cost. It's not that the cost is about having your store in a mall. It's not about that. It's the labor intensive process. It's it's handmade, so that has a cost to it. So that's why the luxury brands have a certain cost. And I think in any case, for a bride, if you relate to a certain brand, it has a soul, it relates to your ethos, then it's something that you should continue going for.
I'm right here with Monica. Considering that the pricing, people are saying it should be going down, I get
it's not possible
saying that
it's not possible.
Kya discount denge? It breaks my heart when they say that. You need to tell them there are 2,000 to 3,000 artisans sitting there every day embroidering for you.
Yes.
Please do not ask us. This is not going to us alone. It is it is a cycle. It's a cycle of life which has to carry on. We need to send back the money. We, especially for this time, have taken out and curated a range which is an affordable range. Which we have still people coming up and asking us that, is there a discount? Please give it back to the community. It is all not going. Please try to.
Absolutely right, Anjul. I think all of us as consumers also need to understand that when you feel the pain, there's everyone else also feeling the pain, and you might be in a very comfortable spot. But artisans, all of us know where a lot of brands actually are really trying to help them. But there is definitely one bit that consumers also need to understand. I think that's.
And I just love that point where Monica made, was that I think she's putting a whole lot of responsibility on the designers also, which I think is also what I really look at. Of course, we are going to reach out to the consumers and ask them to be supporting all this. But I think when she says about things like, let us reinterpret it, reinterpret craftsmanship in such a way that it becomes more global, there are more buyers to that. I think that also is going to be something which is a huge responsibility on all of us. Which should be where we can
reviving and making it more today, I think, is like the key element to keep like every craftsmanship alive, every artisan, make him feel proud about what he's doing. I think the entire responsibility is on you guys as designers to keep reviving it and making it cool and trendy.
Isha, I personally think it's only not about the designer doing it and the supporting the artisan. That is one of the things. I think a lot of responsibility today goes to the brides who are getting married. They need to be more mindful, as I said earlier, as to putting their head and their mind to the right place. That's
but you guys will be the influencers for this.
Go ahead and support. That's very important. That's really very important.
Also, just to add to what Aisha said, when Dior says that 16,000 man hours went into making this outfit. So by the way, that 16,000 man hours have gone into Indian artisans.
That's right.
because
for all,
yes, all the Dior outfits are made by us at Chanakya, in our export house. So yes, the whole world is coming to us. So India has this great craftsmanship, which we all need to appreciate and just get it out there.
Monica, a good point. The payment doesn't trickle. Yeah, the payment doesn't trickle to these artisans, and for outfits that have already been made and time has been put in, it comes so late. And now fast fashion, I mean, brands like Inditex are not even able to pay those people any money.
Yeah.
So just imagine their livelihoods for something that has been made and invested in. They're not getting paid. They have to go to their next deal. There is, like you said, there's no pride in it. We move to computers soon.
Yeah, I actually, at the start of this lockdown, I heard from a very close friend who's in Bangladesh, and they manufacture for almost every brand in the world. And he told us that, everything that was shipped and reached the brands, after that, they have cancelled payments. And Bangladesh as a government apparently has blocked certain brands from manufacturing in their country in future, which I think is a great step to, support their community and their people for not being, paid or respected for what they have delivered.
Monica, could I just ask you a question on the pointer that you were talking about? Obviously, Indian art and fashion is global, definitely. Do you see a certain trend which is coming in the way that NRI brides were shopping for their trousseau? Because a lot of the brides definitely look at coming to India, shopping before they're getting married. Now with international travel getting banned, how are they managing? You, Anjul, are you guys, and along, even Isha, you have been styling a lot of weddings, I know. Sanjana does it. So are you seeing any difference?
So I think the international brides, the NRIs, they were always used to buying things virtually, because there was, I don't think they always have the time to come down to India and shop for their wedding. All of them are working. Sometimes they manage to come down, but most times they don't manage to come down. So they're used to this virtual shopping. In fact, I think for us, it's time to, catch hold of this huge consumer base this is new wave in India that has just started, where everybody is now an online buyer. Like age doesn't matter. Your social status doesn't matter. Everybody is just got used to buying online. So you have this huge consumer base, which earlier we were only doing online consultations for all our NRI brides, but now we have this huge wave of Indian brides who are also buying it virtually. So we have professionally managed each step in the way for our NRI brides to buy online, just to make the whole process very seamless for them. Like we may get into sketching, or we may get into, showing the outfit with FaceTime, sending them a swatch. There may be so many detailed things that we look into professionally, just so that it's very, very seamless for them. And also there are many factors about, just getting a local seamstress for them, then doing their minor alteration. All that is very possible.
And, when we talk about versatile pieces, how people are going ahead and making sure that they're not just getting ready for that one day, they are actually investing in a big piece and they would want to rewear it. Sanjana, what are, different, ways that people can actually inculcate some versatile pieces in Western and Indian outfits?
Actually, I think that is one of the main things you should probably keep in mind when shopping for an outfit, that how will you be able to rewear or reuse it or repurpose it in whatever way possible. And I remember even when I was shopping for my wedding, that was one thing I was very clear about, that I don't want these outfits to be worn once and then, you know,
Mm.
literally struggle to find occasions to wear them or ways to wear them. So I think that's something you have to always consider. In terms of general pieces, which I consider to be very versatile, and I find myself being able to reuse them and rewear them in different ways. I think one is a really beautiful brocade jacket, or a kalamkari jacket also. Indian jewelry, I find it very easy to wear Indian jewelry in
Yeah.
Western outfits as well, whether it's a nice silver, an oxidized silver piece, or just big like oversized jhumkas or a polki choker. Chicken, I think chicken is something that's very versatile, and you can keep re-wearing it, reusing it, and finding different ways to use it. Even accessories like mojeries and like you know embroidered potlies and stuff like that. I think these are things that you can wear with a nice dress. You can wear it with your like denims, and these are things that you can always kind of have some use for. So I think trying to find like investing in staples that you can really reuse and rewear in different ways is a very smart way of shopping in a certain sense.
Yeah. I agree with Sanjana on this one. Like even what I've done is, now that I have my entire, all the clothes that we got for the wedding, we've already figured ways. For example, like my lehenga, I've thought of how I could wear it with a white shirt and a lehenga, and just like, the neck piece, ditch the blouse. And then for the blouse, I've got like a very simple plain sari made. So that can be reused like that. The sari can be reworn with, say, like another blazer and like an interesting choker, or just like big earrings and a mastika. So there are ways how you can mix and match. So don't compromise on what you buy. Go all out and buy what you really want. And there are always ways of how you can figure things out. That heavy dupatta can be restyled in a different way. You want to team it up with single pants and a choli, and cinch it with a belt and create like a fusion look. So there are all these ways of doing it. So I really enjoy restyling Indian wear.
Yeah, the main thing is to just stay true to what your personal style is. And I
Correct.
guess for a
Yeah.
lot of people, identifying what their personal style is sometimes is a process in itself. So I think as long as you are clear on the things that you see yourself reusing and re-wearing, and that will remain consistent with who you are and an extension of you, that I think is the best way forward.
And also, I think
And with
a lot, sorry, these pieces have to go to the next generation. Like Isha wore her mom's kanjivaram. Your lehengas can also be worn by your daughters, by your nieces. Yes, storage is an issue, but then these days people have his and her closets. So it's okay to have a wedding lehenga stored away for a while, even if you have no use for it. To maybe your daughter will wear it for her wedding, or somebody in the family will inherit it. It is a part of your heritage.
It's an investment.
Yeah.
And also, it's a special piece. You wore it for your wedding. You anyway want to cherish it and keep it for the rest of your life. And somewhere down the line, you have it on your mind that if not me, somebody will wear it sometime. So always invest. And with considering that we work on an Indian heritage and a craft, I personally think it works beautifully as going down generations. Now we do a sari in chicken, which we call the ektar sari. It takes us 2 years to do one sari.
Yeah.
We have a money back on that sari. I mean, anytime in life you want to come back to us and exchange it, please feel free to come back, and you get your complete money back on it. Because I know I can't produce it at the same price 10 years down the line, the way the artisans are, and there are very few who can do it. So please invest in a craft where you know that you're giving it back to the community. There's no better feeling. Trust me, there's no better feeling.
And when we talk about lockdown, how everybody is at home and with so much time on your hands, are there any DIY trends that, in terms of fashion that one can do for wedding? Aisha, any thoughts on that?
I think Gopalika is the perfect person to answer this, because every day I see a sari being draped differently with some belts, make it more relevant, like you said, for today's women. I mean, there's so much content out there for young women to emulate. There's so many bloggers. Actually, bloggers, they're silently really inspiring so many women to change things up, to rewear, to you know, utilize some of the unworn pieces that your mom's not worn for a while to change things up. Like I've seen her use her Kanjivaram sari in so many different ways. And I mean, I don't think I can give any more advice than you just have to watch one of her tutorials and you're all set.
So, Gopalika, I think we all want to hear.
So I think something that I realized in the starting of this lockdown was we're at home, you know, and we're people who go out every day and we work. Like we just get out of the house and go. But then I was like, listen, how am I going to do this? What am I going to talk about? Like, how am I going to get up and go to work? So I was like, okay, I'm going to create a space. And in that space, I'm going to kind of create content. But what is going to be the key of that content? That when you come back every time, I'm going to tell you, and I've been doing this since the time we were producing videos for Pop XO, that we want to teach you how to wear that one piece in different ways, or your one. And you know, I got a lot of backlash on a magazine portal about why would you do this to your nani sari? If my nani saw this, you know, this would be a big mess. And I was like, listen, it's fine, it's your point of view, I completely understand. But I just realized that a Kanjivaram sari is magical. It is. Like I found my nani sari and I asked my mom, I said, Mom, where did nani get this from? She's like, she got it from this place in Chennai, we were together. And I was like, this sari has a border on both sides, and it's so beautiful that even if I did it as a power jacket, I did it as an off shoulder, it just doesn't stop because it's so beautiful. So I think for any bride, you know, if you and I also want to tell you that, like, I've been after my mom. I've been telling her that, you know, that you have this, she has this old Ritu Kumar velvet suit. It's an achkan with you know, a salwar. And I'm like, please let me wear this for my mehendi. Please. Like, my mom is like, what is wrong with you, Gopalika? You've already decided what you're wearing. But I'm like, no, because these things have so much value. I feel that there are, you know, you wear that, but you also buy another piece because you might want to do it up in a different way. You might want a new shawl to add it up in a different way. You might want a new chunni to add it up in a different way. So I think I realized that creating content where I'm actually putting out different ways to wear the same thing is beautiful, because it's something that I never stood in front of the mirror and did myself. So I was like, listen, this is amazing. You can do this. So I think, yeah, like, it's an art of its own.
Absolutely. I think we've all seen the videos, and there are a lot of ways to actually use and reuse your you know, outfits that have been lying in all of our wardrobes. And you know, when we talk about,
sorry, I also want to say something. You might buy a new outfit and you might say that I want to wear this with the blouse, and then I also want to wear it with a white shirt. I also want to wear this now. So like they said, a lot of brides right now are buying pieces because they're like, okay, this is something that I want to wear. You know, this is a lehenga that I must have. But hey, I can wear this with a nice, like a top and cinch my waist with a thick belt, and it's going to look fabulous. So nobody, I mean, I don't think people are like, I don't want to buy. People are like, I want to buy and I want to reuse and I want to wear it and I want to go to a wedding after this.
I'm with you on this, because that's exactly right.
Yeah. So, you know, yeah, that's what we're thinking at this point of time.
and you know, when we talk about weddings, everyone in some or the other way would want to add a personal touch to either their outfit or, you know, one of the outfits that they're wearing for the wedding. And now with the current times, most of us are having only one, you know, important that wedding function. So what are the, you know, few ways that you can add a personal touch to your wedding attire? Anjul, would you want to add some point here?
You know, the thing is that always wedding has been a very personal thing for the bride. As designers, we've always been interacting personally to the bride wherever it has been, because it's a very special day for her. Not that the much has changed, as Monica had earlier put it up, that first the bride used to come to us and we used to, you know, you mollycoddle her, you give her all the beautiful outfits, you make her wear the jewelry, you do everything, and then you make her look special for that special day so that you know she's looking gorgeous and she's confident of what she's doing. Now it is all done virtually. So if we can do it for the international clients, we can actually do it for the Indian clients as well. So personally, virtually it is being done. As Gopalika just said, and you know, Sanjana and Isha, all of them are great. And you know, with their help, you can actually style your mother's sari or your mother's dupatta, going down to a piece which you want to invest into now, putting 2-3 things together and just creating something which is going to be out of the box and something which nobody else has. That situation where a bride feels confident, where she feels that, okay, I have this piece, which is completely bespoke for me. And it has got nothing which somebody else may be able to wear it before me. It's not something which is commonly available, is a great big thing. And she knows that she's put her mind to it, and the designer has put her mind, and the stylist has put her mind to it. And there's a complete look and a personality which has come out, which is the bride at that point of time. So it has become more personal, more virtual, all right, but a lot of effort, and effort which really pays off at the end of the day, because there's nothing better than having a happy and a satisfied bride. Trust me on that.
So there's something that I want to add to this. I actually want to ask the designers here. So I got a lot of questions about, oh, Gopalika, how do we, now it's so tough to go out. How am I supposed to get a lehenga? What am I supposed to do? And I think the one thing that I told them, and I want to know if what I said was right, because, I'm not sure. But I said that, this is the time when you can actually connect with the designer and you can actually set your appointment. And they are so happy to kind of, a lot of your time has been cut. So we're not going out. There are no, meetings happening right now. We're not doing a couple of other things that we used to in our daily work life. So I said, okay, you know what? Maybe this is the right time to actually connect with the designer that you really like and tell them to do what you really want. Is that right? Are we taking personal, are these sessions happening that are really, that a bride can really go to a designer, and somebody who's not known to the designer, but just anybody? Does anybody have that? Does that happen?
Gopalika, I completely agree with that. I have always been doing that. And I still recommend that, because the bride is actually doing that big special day for her, it should be very special. She, at that point of time, should actually feel special. As Aisha also said, that when we are giving her that many work hours, artisan hours to it, that special time from the designer is not a very big thing which you are going to offer to her. I think it is possible. It was always possible. And it should continue.
Yeah.
It should be part of our business model, where we should be connecting to brides personally ourselves. And we are happy to do it. I think all of us sitting here would be more than happy to do it at this point of time, or for that matter, any point of time. Even when everything goes back to its original normal, which we all wish it to.
I agree. I just wanted to clarify, because somebody asked me this question, and I like, of course, I was like, of course, guys, the time that you can.
It's I think
I don't know what I said.
It's very true, Gopalika, because, there were many times where earlier I used to meet somebody and say like, oh, I wore a jade lehenga for my wedding. And I'm like, oh my God, I would love to see your picture, because I have never met those brides, there are so many. But now I literally, because my time taken, as you said, like to travel is cut down. My time taken to going into my ateliers is cut down. So many things which I've cut down, I'm being able to give to the brides. And literally all the virtual consultations I'm able to take personally and connect to the brides. So this time has changed, and I hope that it continues like this.
I think virtual is never going out of our lives now.
Yeah.
I mean, Zoom wedding, it's going to continue.
It is really important to have that little personal connect. It is her special day. So it's really important for her to be feeling special from point one. And that point one can start from us, So I think it's really important to be having her to connect to you, being more available to the bride. Sometimes they might come out with the absurdest ideas, but I think you have to be the listener to give out your best you can. And that personal touch is really important. I thought it was there earlier also, it was a requirement.
Absolutely.
And more so now. More so now.
The reason why I said this was, for us, we sometimes go to our friends, because we know them, we're working with them every day. So we're like, okay, this is my color, my size, yes, this is how I want it. But now I feel that this is us. But then there are so many people who are not really working in the fashion industry at this point of time, but they want to connect with the designer because they're very particular that they want this work done. So I feel like they'll be so excited just knowing that, okay, I have something.
They have access.
Yeah, they have access.
It's
to
true.
Guys, please, this is your time. I know that there are a lot of people who can't produce new, but there are a lot of people who can mix and match and show, and then, that excites them a lot. So, yeah.
Cool. And, moving towards accessory and how, people want to match everything to their bridal attire. And with accessory not playing such a big role right now with smaller intimate weddings happening, do we see also a shift in demand towards homegrown brands? Anyone who would, like to add some points here?
Accessories in the sense, like what do you? I didn't understand.
Like bags or shoes, and when you talk about, pairing up like a Jimmy Choo, with your lehenga, and with like now 50 people wedding happening, how would you?
Is that I don't know, but I feel that a bride might wear a Jimmy Choo or a a Louboutin or whatever till the mandap. But after she's like, I'm done from this. Give me those wedges that I've been wearing for like 6 years, and I just want a party. So if they're thinking now, nobody's interested. I feel so. I feel like I'm not going to be interested in what I'm wearing.
I personally don't even think anyone like I think it's very impractical to wear those heels.
Yeah.
Really.
Wedges.
And they don't show.
Wedges all the way.
Under lehenga, and I was very clear on that I customized my footwear from the Indian brands that I've been wearing over the last few years and that I know are very comfortable, because I was like, comfort is very important at your wedding, and especially under Indian outfits when they don't show a lot of the time, you truly want to be comfortable. And I don't personally, I've never understood, people who go and get their shoes initialed and this and that. I'm like, what is the point? Wear it.
It's never going to show.
No one's ever going to.
I'm worried that, when I'm wearing those shoes, my face is going to look like I'm pissed because it's haunted me down that don't come around me. So I'm like a horror story if I'm wearing shoes that are uncomfortable. And anything which is like delicate on like my feet is like,
so I have
a
funny.
There's definitely like a shift towards homegrown Indian brands and still going for these bigger designers.
But I think with bridal footwear, homegrown brands have always been, at the top. There's never, most sensible brides would always go for wedges, always go for Indianized footwear and portleys, and I don't think they're really looking at even buying like those limited edition sabya and grooms, whatever kind of thing. They probably just go for what it's not showing, so they go for what is practical, comfortable, and sensible.
I've had brides who still want to say that, okay, I may not be very tall, but I, after my mandap, want to be in modules. I am most comfortable. I need to dance. I need to have my drinks. I need to do everything. Please.
I had a pair of sneakers ready. I had a pair of sneakers ready. I was like, damn it, I'm wearing a kanjivaram. I don't care. When the dhol wala starts playing, I'm in my sneakers.
So I have a funny story to share. We have these wedges in the trial room, in all the bridal trial rooms. And most times when it comes to discussing their shoes, I think in the end, first they start with a Louis Vuitton to Jimmy Choo and all of it. And then in the end, they're like, oh my God, but these shoes seem very comfortable. And where are they from? So I'm like, I think, so there is this habit store which is close to my store. And I'm like, I think I should rather take an agency, because every bride that comes here is going to buy that shoe because they are most comfortable.
Do an in-store segment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking the agency.
Great. Okay. So on that note, I would want to thank you all to be so participative, and thank you for taking out time to join us today. And all things considered, the couple, family, the wedding service industry, all of us, we need to come together and make sure that we are delivering a safe wedding, the wedding that the couple is actually dreaming of. And as our global brand, the Not Worldwide, rightly puts it, that love is not cancelled. There's only a shift in demand right now. Weddings have started to bounce back, and all of us, I'm sure we can't wait to plan, host, and attend a big fat Indian wedding. On that note, thank you so much from WeddingWire India to all the panelists here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.